Good morning to all. Myself Chetan Chauhan, and I am an RS officer 2010 batch, and currently I am Assistant Secretary in Disaster Management Relief Department. There is one topic which is quite important for UPSC, state PCS, and also other competitive exams also, and for general knowledge also. And that portion is the flood management. You must have seen these days lots of floods are occurring in the country, and like in Assam, Odisha. So that's why through a PPT I would like to present my views on flood management. As you are seeing on the screen. Now, what is the basic definition of flood? According to World Meteorological Organization, the overflowing by water of the normal confines of a stream or other body of water, or the accumulation of water by drainage over areas which are not normally submerged. So overflow is one of the major issue of flood. Then what are the types of flood? There is a low flood, and it is a rise in the water level is such by at least to overflow of bank in once in 2 years. Submersion of field is there, but generally does not prevent the flow of drainage of field. Also does not create drainage congestion. It is termed as a low flood situation that we can see in each and every gully and each and every corner of the country. Then there is a medium type of flood. In this, the water level in the river that rises to extend the crops in the adjoining areas submerged. Populated areas are encircled with flood water. And flood water overflow the river bank. Submergence of agriculture areas and entire residential areas, blocking drainage system for not more than 6 hours. This we can assume, especially in this monsoon season, one can experience it. Then there is a high flood. Any type of flood level which is higher than the danger corresponding to a period of more than 10 years, like we had in Assam this year. And also there could be a single event flood like in a cloud burst that happens in northeast and all. Then multiple event flood, temporary blocking, seasonal floods, then snow melt and ice melt induced floods are also there. Coastal floods which you can see in coastal area. Urban flood. Urban flood is a new area which we are experiencing mainly due to drainage problems and encroachments. Now let's first see what is the flood scenario in the world. Flood damages contribute one third of the economic losses. Flood caused more than 40 billion in damage worldwide annually, according to OECD. Flood can cause widespread devastation, loss of life, damage of personal property, and critical public health infrastructure. And we can see in last 20 years, flood has affected in the world more than 2 billion people. And this is the map where you can see the flood frequency. Then let's see the flood scenario in India. Flood has been notified as a disaster by Ministry of Home Affairs. The Ministry of Jal Shakti has been designated nodal ministry. Then there are various ministries for various type of floods. Ministry of Housing, Urban Affairs for nodal ministry for urban floods. India's 14% area is flood prone, around 45.64 million hectares. And average annual loss is around 55 billion. India accounts for one-fifth of the global deaths due to floods, and people aged between 30 to 60 years are the most common victims as per the NCR. In this map you can see, especially in India, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Andhra, Odisha, West Bengal, Assam. These are a bit high on flood prone area. Kerala. And let's see the flood scenario in Rajasthan. As we know, flood is notable disaster. Water Resources Department has been designated a nodal department for flood mitigation. Rajasthan's 9.53%, 3.26 million hectare area is flood prone. And year 2016, 17, 19 led to large amount of loss in human, cattle, crop and infrastructure loss. Last year 2019, around 26, around 2,645.86 crores were lost. 126 people lost their lives, 314 animals lost their lives. So you can see this is the Rajasthan one. So regarding this flood scenario, flood management is quite important these days. Flood management refers to all structural and non-structural measures adopted to ensure minimum losses by flood. It has been advocated by UN Office for Disaster Risk Reduction and in compliance with Sendai framework. Sendai framework advocates for reducing disaster impact and increasing the availability and access to multi-hazard early warning system and disaster risk information assessment to people by 2030. Now, structural measures. In structural measures, first are the embankment, flood walls, sea walls. In this, you can see the structural diagram of an embankment. Soil shall be filled and downstream, upstream, both options are there, thickness and height, and crest also has been. And dams and reservoirs, natural detention basin, and channel improvement, drainage improvement, flood diversion channels. So these are non-structural measures, floodplain zoning, flood proofing. Flood proofing refers to disaster preparedness of the area in regards to flood forecasting and warning, disaster relief, flood fighting, public health, flood insurance, flood management in India. In India, there is an institutional mechanism where national level, state level, district level, local level agencies are being involved. At the national level, we have National Disaster Management Authority, we have Home Affairs, Central Water Commission, Indian Meteorological Department, National Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasting, National Remote Sensing Center, National Disaster Response Force. Then national level flood disaster response forces, NIDM is the prior, hydrology, and then Central Water Power Reserve. They are the think tanks. Flood forecasting. Mainly CW, Central Water Commission provides flood forecasting. It was started in 1958 and it maintains a network 325 forecasting stations which covered around 197 low-lying areas and towns besides 120 reservoirs. Then around 10,000 forecasts are every and their prediction rate is quite good, around 90%. And it helps the user agencies in deciding the mitigation measures. Inflow forecast helps in safe downstream discharge. Also indicates storage in reservoirs. Then there is data collection. Then I would like to brief you about process of flood forecasting. Data collection, transmission of data entry. It is also online these days through this ESWIS software. methodology. Hydrological data is observed on hourly basis. Rainfall observation is twice a day, 3 hourly. Data communication from site to the divisional headquarters through wireless telemetry. This is the mainly through diagram you can see. This is the mainly process how this information broadcasting and dissemination are sent through satellites and all. Flood forecasting schedule is also there. For major rivers, it is travel time more than 24 hours, once in a day, morning time from 24 hours 36 hours. Medium river travel time 12 to 24 hours. Forecast is based on from 6 to 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening. And issued twice in a day. See, flashy rivers forecast or are twice in a day. These are quite important. The flood forecasting schematic diagram. This is mainly what I have briefed earlier. Where how do they formulation of forecast is there, and then dissemination to various authorities. Then this is standard procedure which you would have seen in the television also. That yellow level, orange, red. Yellow level is the basic level, and orange is the high flood level, which is communicated to PMO Cabinet Secretary. An unprecedented flood, that is the red level, it is coming, and frequent intervals it is in the signature. Now, flood management in Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, they have adopted the flood manual, which is the basic guiding factor, and Sendai framework, NDMA guidelines, and there is the activation of state EOC 1070 at the state level. Then deployment of flood rescue teams, QRT, flood preparation is there by SDRF, and coordination with NDRF is there. Coordination between IMD and state government is there. Meeting of weather watch is there every week. And constitution of a weather watch group is there, which is chaired by Secretary Disaster Management, members from various fields, agriculture, animal husbandry. IMD has a major role. IMD has a major role because it is the major factor which gives us the forecast, and on the basis of that information disseminated to districts and all. They give daily annual rainfall report. Water Resource Department, nodal department, and they carry out necessary repair and clearing of dams, vulnerability assessment of flood prone areas, early warning and evacuation arrangement for community residing in downstream channels, regular patrolling on dams and tanks, and identify and make adequate arrangement for boats, life jacket, ropes, torches. They stay in state of readiness for rescue and relief operation. Army, Air Force, NDRF, SDRF, Police Force, Home Guard volunteers, Civil Defense volunteers. Then Army, Police to facilitate with wireless communication network, interlinkage between Police and Water Resource Department wireless system. SDRF are reported in this monsoon season to collectors in the station. And LSG, local self-government and UG departments ensure repairing, cleaning, resilting drainage system. Measures for hygiene and sanitation, water supply in cities, mapping of areas for safe shelter, arrangement gen sets, pump sets, sandbags, safe disposal of carcass if anything happens. The medical department ensures sufficient stock of medicines, constitutes teams including mobile teams and clean for food and water safety steps. They also set up 24/7 control room. Then public health and engineering department also ensure prevention leakage and quick restoration of drinking water pipelines, disinfection, chlorination, water transportation, water supply to flood affected areas. Then PW department in identification weak structures and mapping of areas for safe shelter, then restoring the roads and building, and major arrangement required for geographic coordinate for helicopter operation. And energy department has a big role. for maintaining power supply, deployment of quick response team, power supply and relief camps. And government also provides them financial help for all these works. An animal husbandry department for medicine, fodder, disease surveillance, because the animal loss is also increasing day by day during these floods, so they are also important, especially these days when corona is also there. So extra vigilance has to be there for saving of animals. Then fisheries department, they identify and keep in state of readiness resources like boat, life jackets. This is also provided by disaster management. Funding is provided to departments to procure these things. To district collectors also. District collector has a major role to play. Yeah. In food department, it has a role in sufficient storage of food, then arrange regularly supply, then information public relation department, they maintain close liaison with state EOC and disaster management and relief department, keep public informed, relief measures be undertaken by government. Direction for districts are also issued from the state level for organized district disaster management authority, also involves army SDRF and activation district EOC, which has a 1077 number. Then ensure essential commodity like food grain, fuel, salt, edible oil, essential medicines, supply of drinking water, updation in the Indian disaster resource. And this is a very important portal which has been operated by National Institute of Disaster Management and NDMA, which has a resource network of each and every district of the state. So at least if something is not available there, they can see from the other district which is not flood prone. Then identification of waterlogged area, vulnerability assessment, existing warning system, by shelters, ensure availability of search, rescue and evacuation equipment, mass SMS system, WhatsApp groups are there, you decimate warning. So in this way, the flood management has been doing a lot of things. Still, there are lacunas are there, which are being getting improved. And I hope my lecture would be sufficient to all. If anyone has any problem understanding these topics, or if they want any more clarification, they can contact on my mobile number 9460 88 1254, and my email ID is global.chetan@gmail.com. Thank you for listening so patiently, and I wish I would be making more videos in the future for helping in a voluntary way to all students. Thank you.